Hello, my name is Mark. I'm a concept artist and illustrator working for the entertainment industry. Here I'm going to show you an interesting technique with using complementary colors as your base layer. So here I knew I was going to paint an autumn for a scene, which has the overall color scheme of yellows and browns. So I started with desaturated blues and purples, and even pushed the saturation further after that. And created a base layer with a pretty much similar composition what I had in mind. Um, I know it sounds a bit unusual, but uh, the reason why I've done this is all these colors, all these complementary colors are going to sort of shine through my my final painting. So as the next step, I started to block in already the greens and the browns and yellows onto my image, but I always sort of step back and erase back certain parts what are going to be in the shadows. So before I started this whole painting, I studied some fine art photography done in autumn forests, just to understand what colors are in the shadows exactly, and what are these hidden colors what I have to lay down. And those were mainly like really purplish, bluish colors, and that's why I chose those ones. And because I'm going to paint the whole image with pretty much the complementary colors of these. So yellows, greenish yellows, browns, stuff like that. That's why even if I only leave like certain dots and certain parts from these original complementary colors, they all going to shine through the image. And even if I'm using even on the parts where I'm using only less saturated colors, it's gonna create some sort of a vibration between the pixels. This whole technique comes from my traditional painting background, because usually when so this is sort of a technique when you create a base coat on your canvas or on your paper before you start to paint with the colors of your shadows or with the colors of the complementary colors of your overall color scheme. So yeah, and basically I just went down. So I'm really trying to establish the lighting first, and from this point it's pretty much like a straight on painting process what I usually do. Uh, I didn't use any textures or anything this time. I just really tried to focus on the overall mood, uh, and I wanted to create like a um, really strong lighting and really moody piece. So the mood was in the focus. So I there wasn't any real tricks. The only tricks what I started to add is just happening at this very moment, because till this point I just used pure painting, and at this point I started to add overlay layers just to strengthen certain colors, and added a gradient to the bottom part and to the top part as well. Adding gradients to your images could be always helpful to create sort of like an extra space. It's a real trick, especially in case of matte painting, to add gradients to your images and to certain shapes, because a gradient instantly creates space. I also added the figure here, and um, I'm just adding details, and it can really save you a ton of time if you create if you handle your details consciously, because you basically have to choose where do you want to put your details. You can choose uh, your light side, or you can choose the dark side, basically. And I chose the light side here, so I can this way I can only focus most of my detailing uh, onto my lights, and I can keep my shadows really loose and really painterly and really patchy, because it won't really matter, because I'm gonna focus. So my eye can focus on the lights, focus the details and all these small leaves in the lights, and I can believe there are the same amount of leaves and details are in the shadows. I just can't really see them because they don't get that much light. So this is pretty much the finishing already. So just adding bits and pieces here and there, some extra leaves and some extra highlights in the focal point where the figure walks, tightening up the silhouette of the figure, and adding a bit more details and a bit more saturated colors there. And as a final step, creating some really foreground elements, just some extra branches without pointing towards my focal point, blurring them out to give a bit of extra fake camera focus, some leaves, and adding some color corrections, and it's ready. So thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something.